What in the world is this for? As far as I can tell, this finger is more useless than a red light in Grand Theft Auto. Hello, Internet. I've been playing a lot of the Resident Evil 7 demo lately. As many of you may know, there's a lot of speculation about a good ending, or at least progression beyond the same few endings we've known about since day one. This video is my theory on a few things regarding the supposed true ending. If there is a true ending, I believe it has to do with the room in the attic. Not the phone room, but the other one. This room is very interesting, and let me explain why I think it's important. Now, if you don't know, this room has actually been discovered to exist within the game. The main problem is that there's no known way to access it. The reason why it's known to exist is because of this video showing it. However, many people dismiss it because the door disappearing is most likely a glitch. I personally think it may be the biggest piece of evidence of continuation since the demo's release, and may even be the hidden answer everyone's been looking for. For part of this explanation, I'm going to show you another glitch. This is a video showing someone else being outside of the house. From a game design standpoint, this looks like an area you're not supposed to see, let alone explore. It has poor terrain, with low view distance, poor daytime lighting, low resolution textures, poor foliage, and the person who found this glitch said there are many invisible walls once outside. All of this indicates an area that's not meant to be found, let alone explored. Remember, this is an area that's gained a lot of attention by players, and is most likely the first area you tried to escape to. Because of the amount of focus on this area, it should have a lot more attention put into it if it was meant to have the true ending. In fact, it should have about as much attention put into it as the second room in the attic. This room has interesting lighting, similar to the rest of the house. It has many different good-looking textures, logical placement of beams, wires, and pipes, as well as other terrain. This is essentially just like every other accessible part of the demo with just as much detail as any other room. There's no reason for this room to exist, let alone have as much detail as it does. It's not even a small room either, it's a large room. It doesn't make any sense to me why they would put so little detail in an area that has a lot of players focused on it, yet put so much detail in a room that wouldn't need to exist in the first place. Unless, of course, it is supposed to be explored. That's not all there is for that room, though. In many games, especially horror games, game developers will use lighting as a way to highlight objectives or where you're supposed to go. In fact, you see it in this very demo with the first possible ending. Just look at that door. It's practically yelling at you to come towards it with its lighting design. Guess what? There's also a light right in front of the door that would lead you to this room. There is no other room in that demo that's like this. Well, other than the one that I just mentioned. There's still one more important piece of the puzzle that directs me straight to this attic room, though. The finger! No, but yeah, it's the infamous finger that no one has any clue what to do with. I'm going to give a little bit of a background for this next item real quick. There's a dummy finger that you find near the beginning of the demo. It appears to have no purpose. A user on Twitter, Maximilian, was supposedly told by a Capcom representative that the Resident Evil 7 demo is beatable, and that the dummy finger has a purpose, although the axe may not. Later on, he was told that the finger and axe info wasn't entirely correct. They didn't elaborate at all, though, so let's just assume for a second that the finger does have some legitimate use. That would mean that even if we can't use it directly in the game, it'd still at least do something, right? Well, it actually does. If you went up into the attic area, in a certain area, you can examine the finger and it'll point towards the door. Now, I know what a lot of people were probably thinking. It's fake. You're actually using the analog stick to point at yourself, right? If you tried this yourself, you'd see that it actually does move on its own in the same direction every time. You may need to move it around a little bit at first, but once you've done it once, it's actually quite easy to replicate. As far as I'm aware, and I've tested, the finger doesn't point anywhere else. though I didn't actually test it for very long, so who knows, maybe it does point somewhere else, but it definitely does point towards that attic room. That means there's yet again another, most likely intentional, game design choice that quite literally points towards the second room in the attic. So, if this room in the attic really is where you'd need to go to find the possibly fabled true ending, how would you find it? There aren't that many things you can do, right? Well, the answer may not be staring at you in the face. I myself tried to find a hidden entrance on the ceiling of where the room should be, though without any luck. I do think it'll require some more out-of-the-box type of thinking to find out if it's possible. Assuming that you can access this area in this demo, I think it may be more abstract, and maybe the door and barricades will both disappear if you do specific things. However, I'm not so sure you can access this area in this demo. Remember, this theory isn't about being able to continue in this one demo. It's about the next part of whatever this series has to offer. It doesn't necessarily mean that the next part will be found within the demo we currently have. There may be another demo that expands upon this one, or a future part 2 that connects with this demo. This demo is just tape 1 after all. The reason for the room existing in this demo could just be that it's an asset from the next part of Resident Evil 7. It could be a necessary portion for the next part of Resident Evil 7. Either way, I think this room is important, whether that's for this demo or the next. There are many factors that come into play when players talk about whether there's another ending to this demo or not. When you look at everything, the marketing, the hints, or lack thereof, what players have already found and how quickly they've found them, how many players there are trying desperately to find this supposed ending, it starts to make a person wonder if there really is another ending to this demo at all. That's very understandable, and I myself am about 50-50 on the matter, but that's possibly another subject for another video. I wanted to make this video to give another perspective that I still haven't seen from the community and to revitalize some hope for this series. I don't think it's a good idea to just dismiss this game or what it has to offer because remember, this is just one small demo to a much larger game. Also remember, for many players, the adventure is more about the journey than it is the discovery. I do think there's value in that, and with that, whether there's a true ending or not, I think this demo has already succeeded in more ways than one. But hey, that's just a theory. A game! Just kidding, I have no idea what to do for the outro. I'll have to come up with something for that. Oh well, until the next video, I'll see you later.